Just trying to get my camera right. I know I said crap, so hopefully that's fine with YouTube. Oh, okay. YouTube wants me to rotate my phone, but I don't want to do that. So how do I stop this? Well, oh, brother. Oh, awesome. No. Okay, I'm not going to stop streaming because there's 3 people already. So I've been getting a lot of requests. Oops, I don't want to rotate my device. Oops, sorry. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys if this is something that interests you, try and get it in the middle, then stay tuned because I'm going to show you how I get this look. This has already been mounted to a wood panel, and as you can see, it has been resined. I used 2 colors. No, I think I did 3 colors in this. I'm sure I used the Senorita, and I'm pretty sure I used Stream by Tim Holtz, and I think a purple. I might have used Purple Twilight, but I can't say for sure. I also used copper, and I really think I used blending solution in this one, but I did it so long ago I can't remember. It still wants me to rotate my device, so hopefully it decides that. Anyways, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to show you what I've been doing that's been getting some buzz on Instagram, hence the requests. So I just did this one yesterday. I did this one a couple of days ago. This is a completely different style, just to confuse you. I'm just going to put that one to the side. I did this one yesterday too. No, I think that this one I did a couple of days ago. This one I did do yesterday. And I did this one last night. And this one I did a couple weeks ago. And this one I did this morning. I wanted to try, so if you see this one, of course you see it, you're watching. But what you'll notice about this one is that I gradiated the color. I went from green to dark blue to like an aqua color. As opposed to this one where I mixed up the colors, where I tried to keep it balanced. So teal, purple, and pink and yellow throughout. This one, I also did a gradient. Whoop. So purple into, actually darker purple into lighter purple into magenta. This one, yeah, so this one's like a rainbow as well, green, blue, red. So there's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can do it where it's a gradient from one color into another, like a you could do an ombre like gradient, you could do a rainbow gradient, or you could just do a mashup of a bunch of different colors. So what I think I'm gonna do for this one, for this video today, I've done a couple of these gradients and I actually prefer them to the multicolors. So I think I have no plan today whatsoever. I did not know what I was going to do when I started this YouTube video. But I think what we're going to do is a gradient. The rainbow seems to be very popular with people. I have already taped down my papers. I measured. What I actually did was I only have this paper in 11 by 14. So I took one of these 11 by 14s and I cut the 11 by 14 and I made it to the right size that I was going to need for this 6x12 canvas, allowing for a little bit of edge, so that when I stick it, now you can buy Yupo paper that is the exact right dimensions for this. It's a little longer on either side, but I don't have access to a store in town that sells that. And I didn't want to wait to order it. So I cut them down myself to the proper dimensions. Then I take tape, and in this case, I've just taken Premier Blue painting tape. And to keep, what I like to try to do is either go dead center, or I like to go near like the lower half or the upper half, depending on which way you turn it. So like a third of the way, a third rather than a half, or you could do the whole bottom half. So you can pick. You could fill the whole sheet. You could do whatever you want, but I like to have that negative space. So I've taped off a piece of tape on either end. This isn't secured to the paper towel. This side I doubled the tape so that I have room, but I wanted to show you all. Take my piece of tape and stick it down. You could also use a bit of washi tape. That one doesn't work. A little bit of washi tape. And secure it to your tray, paper towel, what have you. You can have a border all the way around. It's up to you. I like to mask it off because if you saw in my feed last night, my YouTube feed, not YouTube feed, in my Instagram feed, you can see where I very clearly dropped a piece of paper onto my unprotected Yupo paper. So this is why I taped this off. So this is the zone that I am planning to paint, but I carelessly pulled off the tape and then decided that I wanted to touch up something in here, and I trusted that I could be trusted and that I wouldn't drip, and I did. So this is why I masked this off. That's the explanation for that. Somebody's asked me if I used a paintbrush or dripped straight out of the bottle. I did not drip straight out of the bottle, and I do not use, say, one of these water brush pens. You could. I stumbled upon this particular technique because I had some Yupo paper that had a lot of ink on it, and I didn't want to waste that ink. For some reason, it occurred to me to drip a tiny bit of either the blending solution, rubbing alcohol, extender, or remover, cleanups. I don't know, honestly, but I put it on this piece of paper and I dripped it via the page, and I really liked the look. So yeah, like I had saturated a piece of paper kind of like this, and I was like, I don't really like that, but I didn't want to waste all the ink I had on the paper. So I dripped a little bit of rubbing alcohol onto the paper and moved it around, and then I dripped it onto my page. Okay, so let's discuss what colors do we want to use, because I'm going to show you exactly what happened. I think, okay, I've got lots of pink, I've got blue and green. I don't really have, I'm trying to do lots of summery colors. I think what we should do is like a red, orange, yellow, although yellow does not come off really good. I don't know if you like this. This yellow was really hard to get the color to look nice. I don't want to use it. I'm just going to be frank. I'm going to take Wild Plum. I'm going to take, I want to find one that's kind of full. Indigo. Oh, I did that already. Ugh, I'm trying to be, green. Green, red and green. Not a good idea. Blue. Right, clean. Like the combinations, honestly, are endless. They really, truly are. Okay, indigo and blue. Ugh. See, this is the trouble I have. I don't want to do something. I want it to really look good, so I don't want to do something just sketchy. Like I want to actually be able to put this on Facebook or Instagram. Let's do, okay, I'm just going to do it. Yellow, red, and blue. Yellow, red, and blue. Not this blue, this blue. This one has more in it. Yeah, let's do rainbow. This card already has been used, so it already has a little bit of color on it. I'm going to sit down in my chair and I'm just going to get at it. So I'm going to push this back a wee bit so it's more centered. And then I am going to wear rubber gloves. Whoops. And I'm going to try and do this rather quickly so that you guys can see. I hope there's enough. I hope that's close enough. Okay. So like I said before, there was ink on my page. This is how I discovered what I'm about to show you. But rather than that, I'm just going to show you how I've been doing these. Okay, so I'm taking my magenta and I am literally putting it right on my paper. Now, I like gold in every single thing I do, or copper. So I'm going to take my Pinata Gold. I can let that ink just sit there. It's not going anywhere. It's staying on that piece of paper. I'm going to give it a little bit of that. A little bit of gold. Then I'm going to blow off all of the dust. And then I'm just going to touch the edge of the page down. See? It spreads a little bit. You can do a little line. You can tap it again. What's important is that this edge is flat and square. It has to be straight because if it's got a bit of a wow in it, you're not going to get a full touchdown on that page. It's not going to touch the whole way down. Like, anyways. I'm going to get my other two colors ready because there's nothing worse than trying to take the lids off of stuff while you're working. Okay. So red on one side, yellow, and blue. It's going to make purple. It's going to make orange. So I'm just going to work. I would suggest double tapping. I feel like there's a wow in this. Okay. So I'm going to get a couple going. Now I can work edge to edge, or I could keep this fairly narrow. I could go right to the ends, or I can just stay in the middle here. Now there's still a little bit of gold coming off of my card, but I could add a little gold. Gets a nice skinny little line. Right? Just a little tap, 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 tap. Get all your ink off. If you don't want more of the red, you could use something like a color extender, which I think leaves like a gummy look. This one has a gummy look. Some of it looks gummy. I hate to say it. It's really thick. It's just thick ink. This one doesn't look that way. And all I used was 100% ink. I did not use any extenders at all. Same with this one. I didn't use anything extra. Oh, this one, I'm a liar. This one, I used a little bit of rubbing alcohol. And today, this one, I only used gold and the colors. So let's go back. Now I'm going to do blue. So there's a bit of gold on there already. I'm going to do the blue. Blue and pink makes what? Purple. So there's going to be a little bit of that pink that's going to come off. So I'm just tapping it. Whoop. Little dots of color are welcome. So it's like doing an ombre. You're doing a little bit of blue, a little bit of pink, and then when you get into the middle is when you get the mashup, the color mashup. So then I can take that blue, I'm going to add a little bit of magenta to it. When I go right here, it's going to give me a nice purple color. Little blue, little blue, little pink. Right? You can take it and drag it. And if it starts to look a little messy, don't worry about it. We're going to do a lot more. You can pick up some color and move it. Pick up some color and move it. Pick up more color and move it. Do a little fancy line. So it starts to spread. It starts to look really good. What I'm going to do with this, I can use this extra, adding a little more magenta. Might be getting a little heavy here. But I think that blue is a little too close for comfort. And it just starts to reactivate the ink where you've got it. If I feel like, oh, I'm running out of gold, I just add a little more gold. Boom. Let it sit there for a second. It's going to run down that page and then take it away. Right? Now we're going to go over here, but if I go over here with this blue on my pink, it's going to make it it's not going to make it orange. It's going to make it some crazy color. So I want to wipe off either wipe it off with paper towel, or we're going to pick a different side. This side has blue in it. The back of it has a little, this has already been sprayed with a color, like this is a really old piece of Yupo paper that I pretty much wiped all the ink off of it I can, and I still have yellow and green on there, but it's also been sprayed with a varnish. So this color is not bleeding into anything that I touch it with. So anyways, I'm going to go on this side with the yellow. Now, if you wanted to, you could grab a whole new piece of paper, or you could cut this down and you could get a whole new edge, which is what I do. I'll have a pink edge, I'll have a blue edge, and now I'm going to have a yellow edge. So I'm going to take this yellow and I'm going to plop it right down here. Boom. And right away I'm noticing that my edge is not straight and it doesn't touch down 100%. Sometimes that's okay. It's not okay for me. So hold on, I'm gonna get a pair of scissors. And I wanna cut, let's just cut this edge. We're just gonna cut it so it's nice and straight. Add a little bit, nice and flat, nice straight line, right? It's a little bit of blue dripped into that, but it's okay. I'm not going to get fussy about it because I can always add, say, a little bit of gold. Oh, there is pink. See, this is why it's nice that you do this, because if I were to just tip my bottle over onto my page, all that pink that landed on there would have landed on my page and I would have cried about it. And then I would have had to do something different. So I'm going to clean that tip off, or I'm going to clean that edge off. I don't want it to be pink. I want it to be as yellow as possible. Yellow. Plunk. Yellow for me is a challenge color. How do you guys feel about yellow in alcohol inks? I honestly really struggle with it. I either use it all up and I don't know how. It just is gone all of a sudden. Like, where'd all that yellow go? Also, it always looks a little bit dirty to me. And maybe it's just because of the yellows that I'm choosing to use. This is a lemonade. I just don't like it. Maybe I just don't like yellow. I think that's a thing. I'm going to take my gold now. As soon as I use this Pinata Gold, what is happening here? As soon as I use this Pinata Gold, of course, the gold makes it kind of browny colored. So that's why I don't like it, I think, because I don't love brown. See, so we're just tapping, tapping, tapping. You can do some lines. Not like that, but yeah, like that. Some lines. Just dragging that piece of paper, right? Now I want to blend these yellows and these pinks together to make a bit of an orangey color. And this ink dries fast, so you have to reactivate it. If you find that you're using too much ink, then you can switch to using the rubbing alcohol. So let me get this off of there. All right, I'm gonna put the gold away for a bit, and I wanna get some more pink on there. I wanna go over here. So I'm gonna take a little bit of pink, I'm gonna take a little bit of yellow, and I'm gonna start blending them together. And if you go too much to one direction, if you go too much orange into your pink, you can always go back and add more pink. But you don't want to get too orangey in your yellow because it's really hard to take away the darker color. So you got to be really careful when you get in here. That's why I'm going to set that aside. This is only a yellow piece of paper. And it's okay to touch down in there because you're not picking up the color, you're just setting down color. You might pick up a tiny bit if you have a lot of fluid there. I just give it a wipe, get rid of that pink, put a little more yellow down, okay? So what's gonna happen is the yellow is gonna be really minimal over here. So I have to make sure it stays nice and bold, and I have to bring the darker colors this way and really not contaminate this over here. So I just want to get a tiny bit more of this orange in here. I have to wait for this to dry so that it shows. Otherwise it'll just blend, right? And I really like how this color is like bleeding into the other color. Okay. So I touched the yellow to my pink, but that's okay. I just can't go the other direction. So we're going to take the red, magenta, we're going to touch down again. So it's all about layering the different colors. Magenta, magenta. And I do that. I sit here and I go magenta, magenta. Oh, I need a couple of yellow dots around here. Random little yellow drops. Ooh, see, I love this. I'm glad we picked these colors together. Good choice, public. I'm gonna bring this magenta here, here. I'm really just intuitively picking random spots to touch this color down, okay? It's really not anything special. It looks impressive on the Instagram, and I'm sure it's there's probably an easier way of using a brush. I don't know, because I just stumbled upon this literally by accident, and I might just be making it more complicated, but I feel like I can control the amount of time. I put it on, I wait for it to kind of dry, and then I can get these small little lines. Or, small little line, right? Small little line. Or I can make it a big fat line by doing it while it's still really wet. It gets bigger. Let's do another bigger one. Whoop, dripping the blue, right? Do you see? Break up the purple, break up the purple. So I'm like bringing the colors together. I feel like I need a fleck of yellow around here. I got a pink dot and a blue dot. This purple is super pretty. I feel like this yellow, this gold, it needs to get broken up, but I do not want to contaminate my yellow over here with any other colors. So at this point, this is where I would bring in a little bit of rubbing alcohol, which I have in this bottle. And I'm going to come off of the page and I'm going to just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and I'm just swirling it around. I'm just getting a little bit of that gold. I'm just swirling. I hope I don't drip it. I'm just swirling it around, getting that gold off there. And then I'm just going to tap it. Tap it. Tap it. And then I wait. I let the color expand. If I still really don't like something, I'll run this card along there, just breaking up that gold. I could take a brush. I could take one of these brushes. But if you use a brush and it has too much alcohol on it or blending solution, it will bleed all over your page. And I don't want that at all. I only want to break this particular line, or even this line right here. I do not want it to be a crazy, broken up, big blob of color of color. So I'm going to take color to take away color. I'm going to put a little bit of color there. I'm going to scissor or saw it back and forth to break up that gold. And look, it just spreads beautifully. Look at that. That's nice, right? And even if you don't like it, you should stop watching this channel right now. See, and you can move your color around by just using the edge of your piece of paper. I use color to take away color. I like to break it up. I could use the rubbing alcohol, yes. And sometimes I just mess around and I see what works. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't work. Yellow. 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 Like I feel like I can go wider with this. Yellow. Yellow. And then I just don't want to go to the edge of that tape. That's my border, right? So as it dries on my page, the lines start getting thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. So this is fine. I don't love the yellow. It's not my favorite. I'm going to just set that aside. Like I said earlier, I'm going to take a little bit of the blue. And I'm going to break up the purple. Oh, break it. Just going to hold it there sometimes. Just hold it for a second and let it spread. Okay? If I feel like it's not working with this, I don't know, my gut just tells me what to do. I go and get some rubbing alcohol. Like whatever. You just got to do what you think feels right. I feel like this blue needs more gold. There's no gold in there. Gold. Gold. And if you don't like it, you can drag your little piece of paper through it, break it up, put it down. I just decide where it's going to go, and I just do it. That's all I do. I want some more gold in my pink, so I just touch it down. Touch it down. And I just let the page do what the page wants to do. Or I let the ink talk to the paper. It's really a conversation that they're having. I'm just facilitating it. Oopsies. Now, if you do something that you hate, this is why I have the borders here, because I can go as far as I want. And then I know I still have negative space on either side. So I can play within these lines. That's a lot of gold for me. I don't think we need that much. I'm just going to wipe that off, get a little more, and boom. And boom. Boom. So play around with it. See what you see. If you like this technique, tag me in it if you do it. I want to see what you made. And go find me on Insta. Go see some finished ones. I'm going to put all of these under resin. I have a show that I'm doing called the Shop Created Market. It's a market for local people that create things like by hand. Like they don't sell wares so much as they have to create something. And so I'm making all of these for the craft show because it actually, I shouldn't call it a craft show because it isn't crafty. However, there are some things that people would consider crafty, but it's artisans, artists that create something, whether they're growing it like plants, or they're making like jewelry, or they're doing art stuff, or they're doing like clothing, textiles, all kinds of cool stuff. So it's not something that people have purchased, it's something that they're creating, and they're hence the Shop Created Market. Anyways, so I will be posting all of these as I create them and as I make them. They'll come up on my Instagram. So please feel free to go there, follow me there. And if you want to see how this turns out, you're going to have to go there because this is a live. This is a live feed. So anyways, this is it. That's the technique. Go find me on Instagram. Peace out.